Hey guys, Lizardlea here for 4 Heavenly Beasts, day 28. So there is day 27. I can't really see. Okay. Yeah. It's not perfectly ironed, but I didn't need it to be perfect. I just needed it to be reasonable. And so that is pages 1, 2, 3, and 4. Did I finish page 4 last time? Yes, page 4. So I've done 4 pages of like 24 or something. So excited. And, you know, for the people that want it, there's the back. Yeah, I have no shame with this. Shame me all you want, it won't work. When I get it nice and framed, no one will ever know. Except for all the people who know about my YouTube channel, because then they can look. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to add. My hair, some of it looks pretty, some of it looks pretty, some of it looks wonky. I don't know. Like, this side, it all goes that way, and this side also goes that way. It's like everything just whoosh. So silly. But, you know, I don't have a curling iron or anything. I'm too lazy for that. So, you have to deal with my hair being weird. Now we're going. I'm officially recording.
I see. So which one do you want to start with of the ones that we are officially recording?
Well, if we try and stick with, you know, what we've been watching in order, we would be talking about Suicide Squad first.
Okay.
So, I have still not seen the first Suicide Squad, and from what everyone tells me, I don't really have any intention of watching it.
You're
so I'm
better
good.
off for it.
But the second one was very funny. I quite enjoyed it. I only have one complaint, and that's Harley Quinn, which is really sad.
Kind of, yeah.
Because I remember specifically watching a couple episodes of Batman the Animated Series, which introduced Harley Quinn. She is not an original comic book character. She was made for that TV show. And I remember her, yes, she was quirky, but she always carried around like a big hammer, and like she was an ex-psychiatrist.
Yes.
Like, so she was just like, she was super interesting. There was more to her than just being quirky. But in this movie, all I got from her was quirky. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh yes, she knows how to fight and do all these things and she's ridiculous. Yeah. And I was like, who is this? This seems like another person. Because at no point prior to that did she seem like she had any, I don't know, I guess military experience, fighting experience, whatever you want to go with. It seemed like her only character trait was being quirky.
She also, her entire plot's weird because it's completely disconnected from the main plot for a majority of the movie. Like, even when they meet up, they split again. Like, it's like, oh, right, we're on the Harley sections of the movie. It's not like this is the Suicide Squad movie with Harley. It's, oh, now it's the Harley section. It's just really random and weird, especially the whole El Presidente, like...
I didn't like that.
It was okay. Like, I don't know, I didn't hate
I would have
this,
preferred
but
the
it
movie
just
more
felt weird.
if that everything with Harley Quinn was just taken out.
Yeah, probably.
And they just expanded more on what they gave. Okay, like, not gonna lie, you guys, John Cena, my favorite. MVP.
He did really well, yeah. I was not expecting him to do well.
I love John Cena. So, him as Peacemaker was just... I loved it. I laughed every single scene he was in. He was amazing. Him and King Shark were my favorites. And you guys, I spent the whole movie like, man, they're both gonna die because they're my favorites. And that is the track record that Liz has. And if you haven't seen the movie, I'm not gonna tell you if it stayed on track or if it went off the rails. You'll have to just watch it.
Fair, I guess. Yeah.
Or we can talk about spoilers. It's whatever.
I guess eventually. I mean, I don't think it needs like a synopsis if you don't know what the Suicide Squad is. It's superheroes who are...
No, I'm sorry. What was that?
Villains.
Superheroes?
Whatever.
It's super villains.
It's like C-list...
It's Batman super villains
yeah.
coming together under Amanda Waller, who is just a badass mother effer who is in charge of them and is willing to kill them at any moment's notice. Like, yeah. And they have to go out and do what she says, and she works directly for the government, right?
Yes, in theory, it's always, there's some
or like the shadow
ops.
government or whatever, but like it's supposed to be the U.S. government.
Yes.
Yeah, so she sends them out on suicide missions, basically. Sometimes they make it back, sometimes they don't.
And, they kind of had fun with, I think, the fact that they had Will Smith as Deadshot in the first movie, which was a disaster of a movie. Not his fault, I think, but I didn't see it either, so I don't know. Well, no, just from what I've heard. And they obviously have Idris Elba playing Bloodshot in this movie, who, is just basically...
a carbon copy.
Yeah, and then
Deadshot.
You meet Peacemaker, who's...
a carbon copy of him!
Bloodshot, yeah, so it's self-aware.
No, oh man, one of my favorite parts, though, was he was like, that's what you just said about me. Yeah, well, I do it better. I kill them with smaller bullets. Like, it was so funny. I love John Cena, you guys.
He did very well. I'm not a huge fan of some of the action stars out there, but no, Cena delivered. It was he fit the role perfectly.
Cena, Batista, and The Rock are all up there for me. I
think Cena
actors.
and Batista are much better actors than The Rock. The Rock is fine, but The Rock does what The Rock does.
I will say, I feel like The Rock generally plays the same part in every movie he's in.
And maybe he's never been given the opportunity. But I kind of feel like Cena
kind of does the same thing.
Yeah,
like I feel like there's a clear distinction between his comedic roles and his serious ones. But I feel like his comedic stuff is really funny because he's the straight man.
Yeah, I guess.
So that's kind of similar to how he plays the serious action roles. So
I guess it helps that the movies that they've all been in, I think that of what I have seen of Cena's stuff, and definitely what I've seen of Batista's stuff, they're just better movies. So it's easier to come off as a better actor when you're given better content,
writing and everything.
And I mean, that's not to say there's anything wrong with what The Rock does, but at the same time, when you're in the Fast and the Furious movie, this isn't going to be winning any Oscars.
I haven't seen a single one of those, so I cannot comment.
And I've seen some of his other stuff, and it's okay. I never complain, but it's never astounding.
I don't know. I will say John Cena straight up just blows my mind every time I saw him on screen. And every time I've seen him on WWE, because his arms are freaking ridiculous.
Also, yes.
Like, I know I've told David this before. I watched an interview with, what was it? The Great Khali and Kane, I think. It was two very, very big wrestlers. And I mean in size. Like, yes, popularity, but also in size. They were just simply huge dudes. And they were discussing who the strongest person at the WWE is. And they discussed, John Cena came up, and they were like, anytime he picks me up, he's a wall. Like, he's just solid. I feel like I'm not going to be dropped because he's strong enough to hold me up. Mm-hmm. And yeah, when you look at how thick his arms are and how thick his thighs are, you believe it. Like, dude is built. And then, they had him put on a urinal as his helmet for this movie.
Pretty much, yeah.
I didn't think it actually looked like a toilet seat, but I thought it was hilarious. It was. Oh, I loved Peacemaker.
No, and there's a lot of fun stuff. So yeah, no, I mean, the majority of the movie is good and fun, and the stuff that's not what I would call good isn't necessarily bad. It's just okay, this is happening, whatever.
Well, I didn't. If they had kept her quirky the whole time. Or if they had laced in better the fact that she has, like this fighting experience, it wouldn't have been so jarring when suddenly she's whipping around all these dudes that are twice her size, where I was just like, what? No, I don't believe she could do this.
Also, and then an expert in guns and everything else. Like, just...
Yeah, and a javelin? Like, no, it was ridiculous.
She could get her hands on. Yeah, it was a little...
She always had a huge hammer in the show. Like...
Yeah.
Well, in my memory, it was a hammer.
No, but she didn't always have it.
But I mean, she had it a lot. That was what she usually had at fights, wasn't it?
Not as much in the original show.
Really? What else did she have?
Guns.
Did she have guns?
Occasionally.
Oh wow! See, I don't know.
But she wasn't like some super ninja, dead eye, like Bloodshot.
Yeah, she was an ex-psychiatrist.
Yeah, she,
or psychologist, whatever.
we just need, we need Harley to shoot at him this scene, or we'll have him punch somebody, or it wasn't super.
Yeah, no.
Whatever. It's not the main point.
The scene where they had her at like a corridor.
Yeah. And
she was just spinning around and shooting them, and then there were times when she wasn't even looking and she was shooting them. I was just like, this is what we have become now. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little weird.
That was ridiculous, and it really annoyed me.
It's a cool action scene. It's just, it feels
not
odd.
with Harley. I would have believed it with the guys. Like, honestly, if you had replaced that with Peacemaker and Bloodshot, I would have enjoyed it so much more because I would have believed it.
Yeah.
Especially with them competing. When that scene where they did compete was probably one of my favorite scenes in the movie. It was hilarious. I laughed my whole way through it.
They go on a kill contest. It's just super stupid.
It's ridiculous, and I love it.
It's completely ridiculous that it even works, because, one of them's, lighting people on fire at some point, and they still haven't been alerted and whatnot. It's just completely over the top, and then ends in a really good punchline. So, yeah, no, it was, it had a lot more soul, but, my general feeling is it's not really a Suicide Squad movie. It's a James Gunn movie with Suicide Squad drapings over it, which isn't bad. It's a good,
I like movie. James Gunn's movies that I've seen.
And it's probably one of my favorite James Gunn movies. I need to think about that.
You said he did Guardians of the Galaxy as well?
Yeah, but I don't love that as much as other people.
1 and 2?
Yes.
And I really liked Guardians of the Galaxy 1. I liked the second one as well, but I think I liked the first one more.
Let's see here. Guardians of the Galaxy, Suicide Squad, Brightburn, Guardians of the Galaxy again, Belko Experiment, Guardians of the Galaxy again, because the third one's coming out.
Ah, that's right.
Super, Slither, Scooby-Doo 2 Monsters Have Leashed, Dawn of the Dead, Scooby-Doo, The Specialist, and Tromeo and Juliet. And
okay, so I've only seen Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, he's also executive producer on Avengers, Infinity War,
and
Love and Thunder.
Well, that hasn't come out yet. So
that's the new one. That's the new one, right? Yeah. And then he directed Stan Lee and Doctor Strange. Nothing much. So in short, I think it's probably my favorite of his, because I don't love the Guardians of the Galaxy movies quite as much as other people.
I really liked the first
one. I probably like 2 better than this. 2 started awful, though.
Guardians of the Galaxy 2?
Yeah, I was ready to hate that movie after the first 5 minutes. I thought the opening was so bad, but then the rest of it was great. So
Baby Groot is very cute.
Just that entire scene was so... I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, Suicide Squad. So yeah, it's a James Gunn movie with Suicide Squad characters in it, which, fine, great, okay. It just doesn't feel like it's got a lot of the unique things you kind of would expect from a Suicide Squad movie. Or rather, maybe that they get that out of the way in the first 10 minutes, and then we're back to James Gunn movie.
I don't know, what I liked was, for anyone who's here because they like Pokemon like me, Staryu's in the movie.
Yeah. That would be... I think that character's canon.
I would not know.
And I think he's a joke in the original comics.
He was not a joke here. You thought he was a joke?
Well, the idea that, he's part of a more wacky thing. No, he's actually really old, okay. Justice League of America era. Okay, so he's older than I thought.
Cool. Bringing it real far back.
Yeah.
I mean, the Guardians of the Galaxy were pretty far back too, so...
Yeah, but whatever. So either way, the first villain to face the original Justice League.
The very first one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh. How wonderful.
Yeah, so... Yeah, no, the movie is great. It's fun, it's hilarious. It's got some weak points, but whatever. King Shark is fun.
He was awesome!
And,
new friends are dumb.
Yeah.
Talk this whole time! Yeah. That's a different movie, but it also has King Shark.
Yes. But yeah, I don't know if there's really much else to say other than it was fun. It was a good popcorn flick, I think
if you like superhero movies, I think you'd enjoy it.
Yeah, pretty much.
If you like the lighter ones. If you like the darker ones, it has a lot of comedic elements.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I guess it's not too...
gross. I mean, it's got some gore, but...
Yeah, it doesn't really revel in gore, and it's not trying just for cheap humor or anything like that. Yeah. It's... The jokes are funny, and it's pretty well pulled off, and like I said, I liked it.
I did too.
Yeah. So do you want to go into the next one?
Yes.
Okay. So, do you know the name?
The night... no. It starts with the...
Well done, dear.
You're welcome.
The Night of the Hunter.
Oh, come on! I was so close!
Yeah, you got the.
The night of. That's what I said, the night.
Yes.
Rewind it, you guys. I said the night of.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Prove her right.
Okay, wait, the Night of the Hunter.
The Night of the Hunter.
Yes. In 1950-something? 1960-something?
1950s.
1950s.
Yeah. Old
So it's
movie.
black and white.
Yes. It's kind of well-renowned. It's liked by a lot of directors. And then I know it because my grandmother really liked it, and so my family likes it. And I figured I would show Liz, because it's Halloween, and we figured we'd watch a horror movie.
I mean, it's not quite Halloween.
Well, it's frickin' October, whatever. We've decided the entire month is Halloween at this point.
Oh, okay. I accept that. As long as it's not Christmas.
And, it is not scary by today's standards.
Oh, no,
at
not at all.
Like, it's
I mean, there
also,
were times when I was very nervous for the kids, but
Yeah,
I still wouldn't say it's horror.
It's also incredibly wacky and very dated in its opinions on things.
Oh,
but,
yes.
But it is a good movie. For context, the concept is, it's like, I want to say 1920s, but maybe a little later, but like clearly post-Depression or during the Depression era, like Ohio, I think. Mm-hmm. And there's this, you find this out immediately, serial killer, who pretends to be a preacher. And he travels around and, marries widows and then kills them.
And he thinks, at the very least, that he is talking directly to God.
Yeah, he thinks he's got a line to God. So from there, he meets with, he spends some time in jail for something else, because obviously...
Yeah, he stole a car, I think.
Yeah. And then he, basically shares a cell with this other man who had robbed a bank, stole $10,000, and killed 2 people while doing so. So the movie actually opens with him getting caught and telling his kids, you know where the money's hidden. His, I would say 10-year-old son and, 8 or 6-year-old daughter.
John and Pearl.
Yeah, don't tell your mom. She doesn't have any sense. Really dated.
I mean, I don't think he was wrong upon seeing the rest of the movie.
To be fair, yes, she is not the brightest individual, but that's kind of by design for the purposes of the movie. But, and so he goes to jail and apparently kind of talks in his sleep about where the money's hidden. And so this preacher's like, okay, I know this guy's got $10,000 hidden somewhere. And they hang the bank robber, who's the dad. And so the preacher is like, I'm going to go find his wife and marry her and then get this money. And then, probably continue killing. Yep. So that's the setup. The actual execution is, I think, pretty... there's some really, really cool shots to this movie.
Oh, yeah.
And as wacky and weird as it can be, or as dated as it can feel, there's also a lot of moments that are just like, wow, this is really good. I don't even know if I'd call it writing, but just, setting the scene. Like, him just sitting there singing, because he's got a good singing voice and whatnot.
Yeah, he does.
It can just be very creepy and concerning and disturbing. And then just, the way that, everyone's like, oh, well, you need a man and blah, 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 which is very, very dated, of course. But also, the point of it is it's playing right into his hands. Like, he's taking advantage of that mentality and using it, and he's manipulative and crazy, and not in a more modern way. Even when he's being crazy, he feels controlled. They don't have him, foaming at the mouth or anything, except for when he decides to run off like a monkey after getting shot.
Yeah, that was super weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it was very strange. But, yeah, I don't know. What were your... You talk first, because I know... I've seen...
I mean, yeah, the way the women were really annoyed the heck out of me, because it's just there's so the mom, falls for the preacher guy, and she totally falls for everything he says, and she overhears this man threatening her daughter. He's like, where's the money? Where's the money? If you don't tell me where it is, I'm gonna rip your arm off. And she's just shrugging her shoulders, whatever about it. And I'm over here oh, heck no. If I hear somebody threatening any of my nibblings like that, they're gonna die. That's just, no. Okay, I could have understood if she, like, tried to take her kids and run away. You know, I can understand her not wanting to attack him and fight him back or whatever, but just straight up being like, yeah, whatever. And then going to bed like normal. Like, she literally walked in on him about to hit her daughter. So it's like, he knows that you saw that. He's obviously crazy, but you're also crazy. And, I mean, he killed her. Surprise, surprise. If you didn't see that coming, I don't think you know what you're in for. Let's see what else. There was also a girl later who the preacher man buys her, like, a magazine or something. Well, actually, did he pay for it? I didn't see him pay for it, so I don't know how I feel about it. But anyways... And she's, like, basically in love with him for the rest of the movie, which was super annoying. Like, it's all those women that flock to the serial killers in jail, you know, and want to get married. Like, it's that psychotic mentality, in my opinion. Like, oh, he killed all these women, but he loves me for real. If he were to get out of jail, he would take care of me, and he would love me. No, honey, if he got out of jail, he would kill you, too. He's a psycho serial killer. Like... What's wrong with you?
It feels weird to even have her in that. Like, I don't... Is it based on something? I'm just curious. Because, like, she's such a weird character to even bother to include.
Yeah, but, I mean, there are women that fall for dudes who are serial killers in jail.
But
like,
in this movie specifically, the Ruby girl is just so...
It's so frustrating. Because, okay, you guys, so the main little girl, her name is Pearl. I'm sure plenty of you guys remember my cat, Contessa Pearl. So I was just like... Oh, I hated Pearl this whole movie, you guys. I wanted to just strangle her. She drove me crazy.
To be fair, dumb child is supposed to be her.
Oh, it's supposed to be dumb. Yes, I know. But still. And then, later on, you meet Ruby, who, if you guys watched my videos even further back, I had a cat named Ruby from when I was in kindergarten until college. And so... her being dumb was also super annoying to me. Like, ugh. Okay, what did you find? Is it based on a true story or a true serial killer?
Well, I mean, I know the serial killer it was based on is... There was a serial killer it's based on, but it's not really based on anything else. There's no book or anything.
Well, then they just had to have some excuse for someone to be ditzy enough to be like, oh yeah, there's these two little siblings staying with us. Their names are John and Pearl, and they have, you know, whatever that they won't let me touch. You know the truth by then, so it's fine. But, like, yeah, the girls just don't expect a lot from them if you're going to watch the movie. Just don't. Now you may talk. It is your turn.
Yeah, no, it's interesting just because, like, I know this film, because I've been looking it up while you talked. Yeah, the film is actually way better regarded than I remember. A bunch of people love this film. Like, you know, lots of things rating it like one of the greatest of all time behind, like, Citizen Kane.
Okay, I would not put it that high, but it was a good movie.
That's why I was kind of surprised, because on the one hand, I understand, like, why this is good, because it's very unique, but on the other hand, there's definitely parts of it, like, this feels dated. Like, these people are dumb, or it feels preachy.
I mean, okay, so there was one shot that we both audibly laughed at, and it was, you see the little boy in his room, and, you know, and there's, like, ominous music, and then the shadow of a man wearing a hat pops up on the wall next to him. So, you know, it's supposed to be scary, and we both just laughed, because, you know, we've seen that a million times. It's not scary. But this was probably one of the first movies to do that. They probably spearheaded part of this trope. No? Okay, well, I mean, it's definitely way older than all of the other movies I've seen that do that. So...
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't bet on it either way, because I don't know. Like, I don't know which of these things started where. But yeah, like...
Well, I mean, it may not have started it, but it's definitely way older than all of the other times I can name that happening in a movie.
True. And to be fair, like, on the other hand, it's got some amazing shots, like...
oh, man, the shot of the woman when she's holding the shotgun, and she's singing, and then you can see him through the window singing. Oh, I loved that whole shot.
Yeah, the singing shot.
That was amazing.
The the murder shot where he murders the wife, that whole thing.
And then the transition.
The cellar shot, because it's a similar thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, her underwater.
I am still just blown by that. I still don't know if they were underwater or not. Because everything moved like it was underwater. I mean, I guess they could have been in a little tank, and the camera was, like right up against the glass. But it was amazing. It was a great shot. And it kept going. Like, it was not just like a 2-second clip. It was 30 seconds to a minute.
Which, especially back then, you don't have all the modern technology that makes a shot like that so much easier now. And it still looks better than 90%
Some CGI that's current, yeah.
Well, not even that, but just, the framing, the way her hair moved, the way...
The seaweed was moving,
the way the light hits it, it's still better than 99%. I do not have a lot of faith that anyone else would set up the shot half as well. It does appear that they put a car underwater, from what I can tell.
Oh, so it was underwater?
I mean, I can't... This is all air quotes behind-the-scenes stuff, but, I mean, mostly it's just shots from the freaking movie. I am trying to find any reference to if they actually put that car underwater, but...
It was a great shot.
I don't know. It's
no
difficult.
Clue. I don't know. We're very.
I feel like someone would have talked about it. Come on, you're letting me down, internet. I'm sure there's a 700-page, thesis on just that shot somewhere, but I can't seem to find it.
Not gonna find it today.
Yeah. But yeah, no, it's a beautiful movie. In that regard, dialogue and plot wise, it can feel a little weird because the core idea of oh yes, this preacher's beyond he's incredibly attractive. And he's, a man of God in, the Protestant middle America. So, of course, he's above suspicion and beyond reproach for everybody. And he's also incredibly charismatic to go along with it in weird ways.
Yeah, the love-hate thing on his fists. It has put every single time I've seen a gangster with tattoos on his fingers in a new light for me. Every time he did his little spiel, I was like, it's for stupid people and for children. I see. And children are stupid, so I could have just said stupid people.
It certainly seemed that way.
That was ridiculous, but they were all enamored with it.
Yeah, it was, until the last woman who was just I don't have time for this. Granted, she doesn't immediately see it as a red flag until later.
I don't know, she seemed like she was very suspicious the whole time, and she was just trying to give him the time of day. Just in case that it turned out the kids were just being brats.
Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing's kind of weirdly done. And then, we get the Abide speech at the end, and it's so strange. But yes, it is an absolute classic, and it's worth seeing just so that, if you're into movies at all, you can, be aware of oh, I've seen this kind of shot, or oh, they're referencing this. Because, a lot of movies do crib from this, or do homages to it, or reference it, or whatever. But it's also still dated. I haven't seen Citizen Kane, so I can't really comment about the other popular
Nor have
one.
I.
That can go on the pile one of these days, right?
Sure. I think we're at the end then.
Oh, okay, we're at the end then.
Bye. And that is the end of For Heavenly Beasts Day 28. I got 3 hours and 44 minutes of footage. Not a lot, but got a pretty good base in. I got quite a ways around the page, so that's nice. The next day that I work will be much better. And I don't really have anything else to add. Like, subscribe, share, comment, all that jazz. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Also, I switched out my desk. I don't remember if I mentioned that in the beginning of the video or not. But this is my old desk. It's about to get thrown out. What?
It's a new desk, right?
How would they notice?
Yep.
I mean, I guess if they saw that there was nothing here.
Yep, see?
But
that's all they need to notice.
I don't know how far over my camera was when I started this morning.
So you don't even figure out what's in frame.
I know what's in
I
frame.
guess you don't even have proper
But
lighting.
that was 4 hours, 4+ hours ago, actually.
4 plus.
Yes.
Plus 4 plus.
Yes. I don't know what's happening right now, you guys. I'm gonna
trash that desk though. Like it's seriously, you guys, it's very old. And it's very wooden. This one has wooden parts, but the legs are metal. Also, it is literally up against this wall and against the couch. It can't wiggle at all. I mean, I guess it can wiggle this way, but it can't wiggle that way. No one cares. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'll see you guys next time.